A grass fire is burning west of Calgary near Ghost Lake. Multiple fire departments are responding to help get the flames under control. Today, Rocky View County issued a fire advisory because of the current conditions. They're asking the public to remain vigilant when burning things allowed under the restrictions. Here's what else is making news today. Homicide investigation.
It is very hard on our officers. Our officers are human.
2 children dead and 1 man in custody. Voters' information leaked.
So if there is a breach, they're able to trace it right back to the source.
Elections Alberta wants to know how personal information ended up with a separatist group. And years after a mobile home park was demolished, the city announces plans for a new housing development.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. Calgary police are investigating after 2 children were found dead in a vehicle in the city's northwest. Officers say the discovery was made just after 10 this morning, and the deaths are being treated as suspicious. Kevin Green joins us now. And Kevin, this has been a difficult and emotional scene.
Ian, it's difficult when anyone dies, but it's particularly difficult when children die. It affects everybody who attends these scenes. I saw emergency workers walking away from the vehicle in question where the children were found, crying as they left the scene. The incident started this morning just after 10 a.m. when police were called to the 4300 block of 14th Street Northwest. It's just meters north of the District 3 police station. When they arrived, officers found a vehicle with 2 children dead inside. Police say the children are believed to be under the age of 10. The deaths are now being investigated by the homicide unit, and police say they're considered suspicious. A man is in custody, but investigators have not said if they believe he is responsible for the deaths or if at all he is related to the children. 14th Street was shut down for much of the day, but reopened just after noon after the children's bodies were removed and taken to the medical examiner's office and the vehicle towed away for forensic examination.
It is very hard on our officers. Our officers are human, and this is heartbreaking for everyone. At this point, we're looking at the vehicle. Our medical examiner is on scene, who will begin the investigation into the deaths themselves. They will be the ones that would ultimately determine the cause of death.
Incidents also shaken the people that live along this stretch of 14th Street Northwest. In the houses you see behind me, several of them talked to me off camera and said the Jeep in question where the children were found is not a regular vehicle seen in this neighborhood, and said it was not parked there as early as 8 a.m. this morning. Now the next steps will be the medical examiner identifying who the children are and reaching out to try and find the next of kin and the cause of death. Ian?
Kevin, thanks very much. Charges have been laid after forged documents were used to make purchases worth thousands of dollars. Here are some of the items police recovered. Officers say the thieves stole driver's licenses, birth certificates, and social insurance numbers. Fake documents were then used to purchase snowmobiles, off-road vehicles, and a rental property in Calgary. 3 Calgarians in their 20s have been charged. Elections Alberta is investigating what it calls a serious leak of the province's list of electors to a group pushing separatism. The RCMP has opened an investigation too. Tim Brooke joins us with details. And Tim, that list contains personal information about almost every voting age Albertan.
Well, Ian, Elections Alberta doesn't typically comment on ongoing investigations, but it's talking about this due to what it calls the extremely sensitive nature of the information contained in that list of electors. Now, every political party and MLA is given an updated copy of that list. It contains about 2.9 million voters' first, middle, and last names, their address, postal code, phone number, unique electoral identifier number, electoral division, and their voting area. A lot of information there. Now, Elections Alberta says the Republican Party of Alberta legitimately received that list, but it ended up illegitimately in the hands of a new separatist group called the Centurion Project. That group was served a cease and desist last night during a meeting in Edmonton, you can see now. And today, Elections Alberta was granted an emergency injunction in court to prohibit any further access to or use of the list. But people, unfortunately, already had access to it, and now the province has to figure out exactly how that happened.
Elections Alberta was able to get it back to the original source. And the way they were able to do it is they use something called a salting mechanism or method. Multiple people are given the exact same data set. They're actually purposely slightly different. So if there is a breach, they're able to trace it right back to the source. So that's exactly what seems to have happened here. And they were able to identify where that leak came from.
I chatted with the head of the Republican Party of Alberta today. He told me he's investigating what exactly happened here. Keep in mind, the Republican Party is a separatist party. Anyone found guilty of illegally passing along that electors list could face a penalty of up to $10,000, a year in prison, or in both of those things.
Serious consequences. Thanks very much, Tim. Donald Trump has given the go-ahead for a new pipeline to move Alberta crude oil from Canada to the U.S. The U.S. president has approved the proposed Bridger pipeline from Canada to Wyoming. Alberta's premier says it will initially deliver more than 500,000 barrels of oil per day, with the capacity for over 1 million barrels. Calgary-based South Bow is involved in the project. It will take a different route than the Keystone XL pipeline, but would use some of the previously built pipe on the Canadian side. The pipeline could increase Canada's crude exports to the U.S. by more than 12%. A Calgary City Councillor wants to rescind what he calls performative policies at City Hall, like a plastic water bottle ban in council. Councillor Landon Johnston also wants the city to repeal its climate emergency declaration and get rid of a statement acknowledging the city's commitment to anti-racism and inclusion. The water policy discontinued single-use plastic bottles in council chambers in an effort to reduce waste and to promote drinking the city's own tap water. It was introduced in 2019 by Jeremy Farkas when he was a councillor.
It was a performative measure by a performative councillor at the time to reduce where the cameras point on what plastic bottles look like in front of cameras. That's all it was.
We should not be spending our time on bringing in fancy water bottle service for city councillors. Look, if I have to, I will buy everybody a reusable water bottle and we can fill up at the tap just like everybody else.
The mayor also says council should focus on more important issues like affordability and safety. Johnston's items will be discussed on Tuesday. Calgary Housing has broken ground on the new affordable housing development on the land of the former Midfield Heights Mobile Park. The affordable housing portion of the land will include a mix of 176 units from studio to 3-bedroom homes. The $61 million project is in partnership with Calgary Housing and Rohit Homes. Funding is also being provided by the city and the province. The 24-acre site will also include retail, office spaces, and other residential units.
This land that we're looking at here today is going to be transformative for families and those in need of stable, long-term housing solutions that truly make a difference in people's lives.
In 2018, the city shut down the Midfield Mobile Home Park, evicting residents after a long and contentious battle over failing infrastructure. An historic building downtown will see new life in an effort to provide more housing in the downtown core. The report says the Hudson's Bay building on Stephen Avenue will be converted to condos. While details of the deal are limited, Heritage Calgary says Astra Real Estate has a demonstrated history of working with heritage properties and a strong track record of preserving historic buildings. Astra has already converted Calgary downtown office buildings to residential units. One condo expert says the market for a property like this will attract people, but with one caveat.
If you can do something that offers a unique aspect and it's priced affordably, that's kind of the winning combination. You will have these super tall soaring ceiling heights, and that will add another unique sale point.
One housing advocate in our city hopes some of the units would be used to help make the core more affordable. Gina, there are some wonderful signs regarding our weather, including the tulips that have popped up in my yard.
Oh, they've popped up finally. And now, you don't have to worry about what's coming their way that might snuff them out. We've had a few events like that in April so far, but we are closing this month on a nice above seasonal note with lots of blue sky. Yes, we made it to 20. That just happened. I was hoping we'd get into that territory today, and that's where we're sitting right now in the city with some very calm winds. I mean, radar satellite's not telling much of a story today because we've got a lot of high pressure that's just keeping things clear, stable, and most importantly, warm out there. Your 24-hour forecast brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, family-owned, community-driven. Discover more at 5th Avenue Volkswagen. Clear evening ahead of us tonight. That'll cool things off to a low of 4, but we pick right back up into some nice, warm, sunny conditions tomorrow morning, Ian, and a nice high of 23 by the afternoon.
It looks great. Thanks, Gina. A new healthcare center in Edmonton will provide life-changing therapy. Still ahead, how the Neuro rehabilitation unit will help patients recover from traumatic injuries. And Alberta's premier talks pipelines overseas, what Danielle Smith told an audience in London today. Premier Danielle Smith continues her European tour, speaking to a think tank in London today, touting the need for more pipelines.
But for Canada, the missing ingredients clearly is not resources, it's the infrastructure to extract and to move commodities to markets. Alberta is keen to build new pipelines, west, east, north, and south, without delay and without hesitation.
Smith's 10-day trip also includes stops in Germany and Sweden. She's meeting with business leaders, government officials, and investors. The head of the Calgary Airport Authority says he's open to discussion about potential privatization of the Calgary Airport. The federal government hinted at unlocking the value of airports in their spring economic update. Finance Minister Francois-Philippe Champagne suggested different types of airport ownership that might provide better value for money. The Calgary Airport Authority says they're willing to talk.
We're looking forward to a healthy conversation. And if we can have a structure that keeps our world-class safety and security, keeps a high quality and affordability for passengers, and we drive our economies, if we can do that in a better structure, let's do it.
As for airport projects, Dinsdale says the second half of their centralized passenger security screening should open by the end of this year. The first phase of Concourse B reconstruction could be done by the end of next year. Okay, we are moving into May tomorrow.
It's going to be May.
Yeah, and the weather is suitable for it as well.
At last, I don't feel like that was really the trend for April for the most part. We were thrown a lot of curveballs by Mother Nature, but she's being nice now. Look at the sky right now. Lots of blue out there. We're living up to the Blue Sky City title through our Skywatch weather camera here. Holding on to that nice clear setup heading into tonight as well. And you notice today too, the winds are calm out there. Most of the time for the winter months, if we want the warmth, we need to have the wind to kind of get us there. That's not the case now because we have an abundance of sunshine for a longer period throughout the day, and that really helped us out this afternoon. I mean, look at our temperatures right now. 20 in Calgary, same in Lethbridge and Medicine Hat. Some areas, though, like Drumheller and Brooks, even a little bit warmer. The central part of the province right now looking really good, too. Edmonton at 22. Same in Red Deer. And then closer to the mountains, you're still dealing with temperatures in the high teens. So a really nice afternoon for us today. Tomorrow, we're going to get more of that. 23 degrees for your high in Calgary tomorrow, up to 25 in that southeast part of the province. Now, we are expecting a little bit more cloud to move in for tomorrow. Radar satellite, though, right now shows that high pressure is doing a lot of work over southern Alberta here. A little bit of cloud starting to push into the east of us, but this is our setup. It really is showing what we're dealing with when it comes to the weather right now. So our jet stream is really high to the north and then pushing down quite aggressively over the Saskatchewan-Manitoba border there. That's allowing this really nice stable pocket of high pressure to just hang out and keep things nice and clear for us. By the time Friday comes along, we'll see later in the day a little bit more cloud moving through with the potential of some evening showers and early showers Saturday morning, but then it should clear out nicely for the rest of Saturday there. Sunday's looking great, but Monday here, I mean, this model can move quite quickly, but this is where we're at for Monday. We've got a big cold air mass to the east of us. We've got warm air to the west, and it all is converging, these two air masses, pretty close to where we're at, right along that AB-SK border there. So when you see those two conflicting air masses interact, what usually happens is temperatures react and get pushed down a little bit, and you get more clouds developing too. So that's what Monday is looking like. But we've got a lot of nice weather up until then. We're seeing many places in, again, the low to mid 20s for the next 3 days here. Again, you might see a brief shower here and there in the early morning hours if you're in Pincher Creek, Medicine Hat. That's what we're talking about there. And for us in Calgary as well, could be some brief evening showers tomorrow night, but still a gorgeous day ahead. And that carries into Saturday morning, where we might see, again, an on and off shower depending where you are in the city. Temperatures closer to seasonal on Saturday, but this trend is just looking absolutely great for the first 5 days of May.
A new Neuro Rehabilitation Center is opening in Edmonton. The center is located at the University of Alberta Hospital. Neuro Rehab focuses on retraining the brain and body to work together after an injury. Patients go through specialized therapy to regain movement, which will help with a person's independence.
The minute they put a shock through the whole spine, that was the first time I actually could move something. And I don't think that's a coincidence. So it's pretty amazing, actually.
Very inspiring. And so to see people like Bill to recover so much just inspires me to do more. I want to do more. I want to actually see more people benefit from what we can do. And so it's super exciting.
And doctors say doing neuro rehab early can make a big difference in long-term recovery. The center will include space for both rehabilitation and research. You're running out of time if you haven't done it already. If you're like most of us, the federal income tax deadline is today. Canada's economy still has some momentum. Joining me is Robert Geary, investment advisor with the Popwich-Karmali Advisory Group. And first of all, Rob, how did the market close out the day?
Yeah, Ian, it was a good one on the markets today, and there was a couple reasons for that. I would say the major one was earnings, and we saw Caterpillar, which is a bellwether to the industrial side of construction and big projects globally, and that was up 9% after really robust earnings, so that pushed the Dow significantly higher today. That's what saw the most points. We also saw on the tech side, so we had those huge tech companies, Amazon, Google, point to significant profits and record quarterly profits growth on their cloud service. So they're seeing that those massive capex spends that they're outlining, they're seeing start to come back. So that pushed both sides of the market higher here today.
And the Canadian economy keeps hanging in there.
Yeah, we got that printout here this morning, and the month over month and the year over year numbers were in line. But the biggest piece here was manufacturing had a pretty robust number, and I think that the biggest part of this is that this number can be lumpy. So, I think for the economy and for even how we look at this is you'd like to see consistent months in a row. You get into seasonal retooling on a lot of the big manufacturing out of Ontario that needs to happen too. So I'd like to see that consistent. On the other side of the equation, consumer spending staying higher, and I think there's a little bit of I would say sun on the horizon here as we get that the grocery benefit coming in and we get the tax reduction, so we might be able to see a little bit more spending here in coming into the end of the quarter.
Some room for optimism. Rob, thanks very much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Today is the deadline for most Canadians to file their taxes. Filing on time means avoiding penalties and delays if you receive benefits. The CRA charges a late filing penalty of 5% of your balance owing, plus an additional 1% for each full month your return is late. The filing deadline for those who are self-employed is June 15th. RCMP are now investigating an alleged leak of the province's list of electors to a group pushing separatism. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The list being shared contains personal information about almost every voting age Albertan. Coming up at 6, how Elections Alberta can detect those privacy violations, plus we'll have reaction. Also ahead, a music action plan for Alberta, how the province intends to turn up the volume on economic growth in the music sector. Ian.
Thank you, Tara. Another group of Stampede concert announcements today, and all these shows are at the Big Four Roadhouse. Medicine Hat's own Terry Clark will perform July 6th at the Big Four. The Juno Award winner is a member of the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. Among others performing at the Big Four Roadhouse are Tanya Tucker, the Marshall Tucker Band, Colin James, Glass Tiger, and Everlast. Admission to the shows are free with admission to Stampede Park, but the Big Four Roadhouse is an 18-plus venue for the concerts. We've had a really good run of warmer, sunnier weather, and even warmer tomorrow. Right now in Calgary, it is 20 degrees. Gina has the forecast coming up. Now, the forecast earlier this week indicated that Saturday would be a little dicey, perhaps some rain there, but it's getting better and better.
Better and better, and like there is still the chance of maybe a little bit of rain, but you know it'll be overnight. It's when we're all sleeping. It's not going to disrupt any plans you might have outside for this weekend. Right now we're sitting at 20 degrees. That's the high for now. Maybe it gets a little warmer over the next hour or so here, but a nice above seasonal day to conclude April and heading into May. It's looking pretty darn good as well. Friday, 23 degrees, a lot of morning sunshine. We'll have those clouds move in later in the afternoon, and then there's that chance of maybe some evening showers and another round of some light showers on Saturday morning. But 17 degrees, still pretty good on Saturday. Pick things right back up to 23 degrees on Sunday. Overall, not too much to complain about for the first couple of days of May.
Thanks, Gina. The University of Calgary has named John Osler as Chancellor-elect.
I'm so very honored to have been appointed to this role. I'm very excited about it. It's a big role, and I hope I can do justice to all of the terrific chancellors who have come before me.
Osler is the former campaign chair of Own Cancer and a longtime corporate lawyer in Calgary. He will now serve as an ambassador of the university and has the power to grant degrees. Osler will replace John Cornish, who has served in the role for 4 years. Osler's first day on the job is July 1st, Canada Day. Thanks for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.